Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now this is going to be my follow-up for Mortal Kombat Memories Part 1. This is going to be Part 2, so I'm going to share some of my memories of one of my favorite video game franchises. Now at this time, Mortal Kombat was at the top of the hill. You know, and this happens to a lot of great gaming series. You know, they get to that point where do we go from here? You know, we had Mortal Kombat 1 through 3, which was a huge success. And I don't know what it was, but the developers of Mortal Kombat decided to venture off into different genres. That's when we had Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero Mythologies. And I've never actually owned this game. I've rented it a couple times and I played it, and it wasn't as bad as some critics say. Sure, the controls are really wonky and it just felt very weird. But you gotta love some of the FMV sequences of live action cinematics that I had to offer. That's one of my favorite memories. Just check out this clip right here.
Grandmaster, in honor of the Lin Kuei, I bring you this sacred map of elements.
Once again, our most cunning assassin and thief is successful. At ease, Lin Kuei warrior. Greetings!
Honestly, I think that's better than the second Mortal Kombat movie. I was a huge fan of the first Mortal Kombat movie, but Annihilation just didn't cut the mustard for me. But anyway, with that being said, after Mythologies, that's when we had a new Mortal Kombat come out, a new fighting game. And at this time, the 3D fighting was really big. We had Tekken, we had Virtual Fighter, even Street Fighter went the 3D route with the EX Plus series, which I wasn't a huge fan of. But we finally had a new Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat 4. Now this would be the last Mortal Kombat that we would see in arcades, and it featured new characters, new gameplay, including 3D elements and the use of weapons. But it couldn't match the hype of the previous 3 games we've come to love. Now they did come out with different versions on different consoles. My favorite would have to be on the Dreamcast, and that's Mortal Kombat 4 Gold.
Now my memories of Mortal Kombat 4, actually, I remember renting it. I've never actually owned Mortal Kombat 4. I've played different versions of it. I remember playing it at my friend's house on the N64, and it wasn't as good as the version on the PlayStation or the Dreamcast that I played, but one of my biggest Mortal Kombat 4 memories would actually be at the arcades. This was right around the time that arcades in my town were really starting to die out. There was an arcade that was still in our mall. It was called Tilt. And my buddy, best friend Mikey, he was really big into DDR. Him and a couple other of my friends would always go there and play DDR, including like my girlfriend at the time. And I just never really got into it. So when they would go and play DDR, I would always go over to the little corner where they had a Mortal Kombat 4 cabinet. And by then Mortal Kombat 4 had already been out for quite some time, but I still played it. Mortal Kombat 4, just something didn't feel right with that one. I don't know if it was the fact that they were trying something new with the 3D fighting engine, or it was the weapons, or what, but it just didn't have that pizzazz that the first Mortal Kombat's had. And it was actually right after Mortal Kombat 4 is when they made another adventure game called Mortal Kombat Special Forces that followed Sonya Blade and Jax. It was another adventure game, and honestly I've never played it. And this was pretty much the downfall of Mortal Kombat. After that, we didn't see a Mortal Kombat for quite some time.
In 2002, Mortal Kombat was back with Deadly Alliance. It seemed they got the 3D right compared to Mortal Kombat 4. The game featured each character with 3 different fighting styles and weapons. Also, this is the first Mortal Kombat without Liu Kang, who dies in the beginning, and we wouldn't see him until he came back in zombie form in Mortal Kombat Deception.
Now, I was a huge fan of Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. I was very puzzled why they took Liu Kang out, because Liu Kang was pretty much the Ryu and Ken of Mortal Kombat. He was that staple character that was like in just about any Mortal Kombat game. He made some sort of appearance. He was definitely a fan favorite, even though I wasn't a huge fan of him myself. But Deadly Alliance had something great to offer, and I think it really gave a breath of fresh air to Mortal Kombat itself. What I really liked about it was the fact that they added a crypt system. And this is what really made Deadly Alliance have such great replay value, is you would play and you would get different coins that you would unlock, different things from concept art to history videos to one of my absolute favorites, Cooking with Scorpion.
After Deadly Alliance, we got Deception, and Mortal Kombat proved to be back rolling with the punches of a new generation. With one big note to this game was the Conquest mode that honestly was a great game within itself.
Oh man, Deception. Now, I refer to Deadly Alliance, Deception, Armageddon as the new Mortal Kombat trilogy, because that's pretty much what it was to me. It was like a new fresh start for Mortal Kombat at that time. And Deception was an awesome game. It brought back the crypt system that I liked about Deadly Alliance. It brought back more characters. It also had, like I was mentioning earlier, that beautiful conquest mode that mixed story with training. There's no doubt that a lot of video games have a training mode where you kind of get the feel for different characters and kind of just practice secret moves and stuff like that. But Conquest took that and kind of turned it around where it was enjoyable to play as characters you normally wouldn't play as. I learned a lot of different things from different fighters by just playing the Conquest mode. And one thing I really liked about Deception, I loved the puzzle combat. Me and my girlfriend at the time used to love playing that, and she was a huge Mortal Kombat fan. And I actually talked her into buying a silver slim PS2 when she graduated high school. Back when we were in high school, I talked her into getting that because I was like, "Hey, well, there's a new Mortal Kombat," and she's like, "Oh, really? I'm gonna go get it then," you know. And again, that was just a way for me to play more Mortal Kombat. And so the puzzle combat was a lot of fun. They added a new kind of finishing move to Deception that really, really confused me and kind of disturbed me more than any fatality, and that was the Harakiri, which is a term used a lot with the samurai, which is basically you off yourself in honor, and you wouldn't give the other character time to do their fatality because you would go ahead and kill yourself beforehand. It was kind of weird. I have to admit, it was really, really weird. Just check this clip out.
Wins. Harakiri.
The Mortal Kombat team always wanted to deliver a great fighter, so we got Armageddon, which featured every fighter since the very first Mortal Kombat. And this had the same formula as Deadly Alliance and Deception, but something didn't feel right with this one.
Armageddon was a Mortal Kombat game where I felt like it was kind of like a swan song. I felt like it was the ending of a Mortal Kombat era, and I was very right about that. The fact that you could play as all the characters was a good and bad thing. It was good because it was great seeing characters come back that I hadn't seen in quite some time, like Stryker and Night Wolf and just all these different characters. What I didn't like is, even though I hated Motaro in Mortal Kombat 3, I hate the fact that he wasn't a centaur in Armageddon. He turned into more of a Pan type character, like half man, half goat. He had two hooves instead of being a half man, half horse creature. And a lot of that was a lot of the memory issues, which comes into the fact that you had all these characters, but they added a create your own fatality mode where that was just to cut out memory, because there's no way they could give a fatality for all of these characters, and I wasn't a big fan of it. The creative fighter was really cool. I remember making a character that looked like Goku, or a character that looked like Guile from Street Fighter, and had like those Street Fighter Mortal Kombat matches that I used to always think about when I was a kid. That was really cool. The motor kart racing game, they had a kart racing game on it. Wasn't as cool as Puzzle Combat, but it was still worth playing. So overall, Armageddon wasn't a bad game, but I think it was the weakest out of those three newer Mortal Kombat titles. Now, one Mortal Kombat that I don't really feel like talking about because I don't really consider it a real Mortal Kombat game would be Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. I never played it. I've seen gameplay footage, I've watched people play it, but I just something never got me to go out and buy it and try it out. I'm a huge fan of Injustice. I thought this was a great game, but Mortal Kombat DC Universe just felt like the same formula from the previous 3 games, and it just, this is bad to say, it just wasn't violent enough.
Mortal Kombat got a reboot to its roots, and this version really catered to old school fans like myself. It was dark, had a great online play, also was the first to feature new characters that had a little surprise, like Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street and Kratos from God of War.
Now this was the Mortal Kombat game I had been waiting for since Mortal Kombat 2. This was a reboot, completely new story, and it still had that old feeling to it. There was some new aspects to it, like the X-ray moves was really cool. This was the first Mortal Kombat I played that had online. Now, I know Deception had online with the PS2 and Xbox Live, but I wasn't an online gamer back then. So this was a new experience for me, and the King of the Hill mode was freaking awesome. I felt like I was back in the arcades again. You know, I remember I would buy like, you know, a 6-pack of beer, come home from work and just play King of the Hill all night. And you could actually spectate fights, and you could rate, you know, what rating the person that was fighting, like what were they worth, you know. And I remember a lot of times, of course, you know, when you beat people and they go at the end, they go back to the bottom of the hill, they're going to give you a bad rating, or they'll just rage quit. It was the first game I ever played that I had people rage quit on me, and that was really funny. I remember, I'm not real competitive, but I did get in a fight on Mortal Kombat for Xbox Live. I remember I was playing it, and I ended up beating this one guy, and he quit mid-round. I messaged him like, "Nice rage quit." He was like, "Oh, your mom, blah, blah, blah." I just thought it was funny. I felt like I was back in the 90s again, and that's what I really liked about this Mortal Kombat, was I felt like it had taken that arcade experience, that nostalgia, added some new flavor to it, and made an excellent Mortal Kombat game. And I'm really looking forward to another Mortal Kombat in this style with a new generation. So again, guys, thanks for watching part 2 of Mortal Kombat Memories. I felt like this was quite a journey. It was one of those videos I started making, and then you realize how much I love this series. I love the Mortal Kombat series. And an honorable mention of a Mortal Kombat game you guys should definitely check out if you have Xbox or PS2 is Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. Now, they've made a, you know, Special Forces, Mythology, Sub-Zero. They're not that great when it comes to adventure games, but this is great. It's a great co-op game, and you can also unlock Mortal Kombat 2 on it as well. And if you want to play any of the other older Mortal Kombats, you can actually download Mortal Kombat Collection on Xbox Live and PS Network, and that's Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and Ultimate 3. And the servers are still up. I was playing it the other night. I was playing Mortal Kombat 1 on the arcade, and it's a lot of fun. It's great to be able to go back and play that stuff. So definitely check it out, guys. And as always, thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing. If you have a memory, be sure to share it in a comment or make a video response. And as always, guys, happy gaming.